Welcome to the Switch Down Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Flynn. With me is my guest, Mike Pinchook, and the victor of March 30th, March to Victory. How you doing, Mike?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. You've got a big fitness competition coming up. We've got a big decision. You really took a big chunk off of that, man. I'm impressed.
Oh, thank you. Currently in fifth place. Last I checked.
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow, I think it's tomorrow, they're gonna eliminate down to 20 people.
20 people. Yeah, I'm not sure what the other contestants have really motivating them, but I know you have something very personal at stake in this, specifically multiple sclerosis. And we were talking about a little bit about this earlier. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah. So I have both my parents have MS, and thankfully they have mild forms of it. So they still. Some people with MS, it's like a fingerprint where it's different for everybody. Like I've seen people where they can't move at all. Mm-hmm. It's basically like a nerve disorder where there's like a protective barrier called the myelin sheath in around your brain, mm-hmm. and that like deteriorates, and that can cause
like an Alzheimer's too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I know it can cause physical, cognitive, all kinds of issues. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the National MS Society, I tried to do there's a walk they do every year. Mm. And just recently it just popped in my head. I was like, I should donate if I win. I was my one friend, she's doing the Miss Fitness.
Miss Fitness?
Yeah,
oh,
there's ones for females too.
Mm, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get into martial arts? You've never was March 30th your first ever bout, or was it just something? Okay.
Yeah. I think I was just researching years ago into the best type of combat sports. I think then for striking, Muay Thai popped up. So then I started looking into that. I started researching around the areas, gyms to go to. Before Nuke Sue, there was there's a jiu-jitsu studio called Bruno.
Bruno Tostes.
Yeah. So they used to do like a little Muay Thai class in that location. Mm-hmm. There was a trainer named Joe. He was he lives in Florida now, but one of the students, Dan, he went to Thailand and trained there, and I think he competed a little bit, and opened up his own gym after, and let all the old gym members know about it. Mm-hmm. Then, I just kind of got back into it.
So you've been training for about like how long? A couple years, or just like since?
On and off for a couple years, but I started to take it more serious. I had a breakup almost a year ago, mm-hmm. and after that, I was like, I want to try competing, like see how that goes. And
it's really interesting that you decided to do something so physically demanding and challenging in response to a breakup. Most guys would probably just like go in a corner and cry, but you chose to do something very different than the mold. What would you say inspired you to do that?
I think just watching combat sports. Like I like watching. I don't actually watch too much Muay Thai, but I like watching boxing, mm-hmm. and UFC. And I don't know. Yeah, I just always have had. I've always had that like urge in the back of my head. I wanted to do it in my 20s, but like I don't know, I just was held back.
Yeah, just my mental blocks. That's
a lot of mental blocks.
Yeah, you and I kind of have a similar story there. Like I remember wanting to do this in college, but just not really having the the courage to actually go out there and do it.
It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so bizarre that like. The hardest part was actually, I think, for both of us, just showing up.
Yeah.
And, like, all the training before it. Like, none of us, like, I think we actually had fun during our fight. I mean, none of us really, like, it was kind of like we were going on autopilot. At least for me, it was.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know you kind of felt I felt personally a little woozy after it, but you didn't seem to have, like, any real like
did you when you were training in the back, did you feel like you were getting tired easily too?
Oh yeah
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to conserve my
That-
energy a lot.
Did you feel the helmet too? That like it
Oh
was
my
like
God.
crushing your
No,
like,
the helmet wasn't actually that bad. I was actually
Okay.
grateful for it. I think it
Yeah.
probably reduced the CTE we gave each other.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, there's also another topic that I wanted to cover. You mentioned that you were looking to try transcranial magnetic stimulation at some point. How has that been going for you?
I haven't looked too much into it yet, but yeah, I know you were talking to me about it, and it definitely sounds interesting.
Yeah, because both of us kind of we both suffer from kind of ADHD a little bit.
Yeah.
And you know, we were both really interested in like kind of using technology to enhance our minds. And I think with neurofeedback, that's something like we both should start looking into pretty soon too.
Yeah.
Because my one friend, Guillermo Corrales, shout out to him. Thank you, Gilly. He actually used a neurofeedback device to overcome his fear of heights for his job as a
Yeah, I
as a
wanted to
fire
mention that, 'cause you
as
told
a
me.
firefighter. Yeah. And I'm not sure if it was psychosomatic on his part, but whatever it was allowed him to function a lot better in his job than he previously could have.
Yeah, and it's funny talking about heights. One of the things I tried doing to prepare for this fight mentally is you ever been to Catskill, the Rip Van Winkle Bridge?
No, I don't think I have.
I don't know how it's pretty high up above the Hudson, and you can when you walk there's the they call it the skywalk, and it's on the side, and like trucks will drive by, you can feel the bridge shaking and stuff. So I was like, maybe I'm afraid of crowds and I'm afraid of heights, so maybe if I go for a run on that path, maybe it can help me tune out those nerves. But yeah, I felt like I could feel like that. What is that, vertigo, where your balance gets all? Yeah, dude. And then you get to one side towards Catskill, and on both sides you can see blood. There's like little openings where you can see all the way down to the river, and yeah, I just remember being like, holy shit. But yeah, I've always wanted to get over my fear of heights too with the TMS.
Would you say that actually helped you in your helped you with the fight, or is it something different that you were looking to kind of conquer your fear with?
A little bit of both, I think. Kind of, yeah, it just opened me up to to the thought of I don't want to be held back by things like fears, you know.
Would you say I only met your girlfriend briefly during during a match, but would you say her, and I know she's a therapist, did she help you at all? Like what techniques did she teach you, any techniques to get over like fear of like stage fright or that sort of thing?
Yeah, she was just there just emotionally just to talk about all my doubts and just mental setbacks, you know. So she was just really there emotionally for me.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She's the one who told me about the fitness competition. Yeah.
She's actually competing too, isn't
Yeah,
she?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, she's been through her story's amazing. I don't know how much she wants to get into it.
Okay.
But
Yeah. Don't want to talk about that here. We can edit that part out. We won't yeah. But yeah, maybe if we can bring her in for like an episode, we could like interview her.
I think she'd be down to do
Yeah,
that.
let's do that. Okay.
Yeah, I'll talk to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can just find it. We could like find out about her journey, like how she got into therapy or how she got into that.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of something we both want to do too. I know, like we both kind of have our struggles with anxiety and attention disorders.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I think in a weird way, combat kind of healed us of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It was almost like our burdens just pretty much were lifted up like after something so intense and and
the
just,
relief when it was over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
You're like, we did this. Yeah. And it was I just think it was a good performance from the both of us for just having that anxiety, especially too, just getting through it. Neither of us got like hurt too bad, which is awesome.
not too bad. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I told you about my training partner right before our fight. He got TKO'd, so I remember that. The nerves of that. Just seeing the looks on my coach's faces coming back. That was the first fight of our gym. Yeah, yeah. And we were just like, oh, okay, well, all right, just gotta put that aside. And but yeah, it was definitely.
What weight class?
He was 170.
170. Okay, I thought he was heavier than us.
Yeah, and yeah, the guy he fought was he had his first loss, so
Mhm.
I think he had a vengeance on him.
Mhm.
So
Oh wow.
yeah,
Yeah. Good thing it's only amateur. That would have been rough if it were pro.
yeah, yeah. Imagine if it was the 3 minutes instead of the two.
Mm. Yeesh.
Yeah,
I think I think in a lot of ways longer fights might be better for people because they provide more of a like a chance for the opponents to kind of just like get in a quick finish off.
yeah.
Because like
Okay, yep.
our fight kind of went on for a while,
Yeah,
and
I think
like
we were just like it was like sprint mode basically.
yeah,
Right?
basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to look into that too, like how to improve the aerobic and anaerobic, and I don't know if you know much about that.
I know a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know as much as I used to. I used to be a lot more well read on this stuff, but I kind of
yeah,
don't really need to know as much anymore because like I get enough work. I get enough exercise just doing martial arts. I don't really need to be
yeah,
like a power lifter. And my back is like really messed up from like years of kind of just slouching over and lifting improperly. So
yeah,
it's probably not the best thing for me to be like a power lifter.
yeah.
I did
Deadlifts
CrossFit.
are,
Yeah, I did CrossFit for like 2 years,
yeah,
and that actually healed my back. But after a while, it started to make it deteriorate because I went back to a chiropractor, and he was like, "Yeah, if you keep doing like what you're doing, you're gonna
yeah,
have problems down the road." And then I pivoted from that to grappling,
yeah,
and I started to do okay in that for a while. But after I had a tournament like about a year ago, actually a little over a year and a half ago, like I went back to a chiropractor and it was like, yeah, it's something's acting up again.
yeah.
Like if you keep doing what you're doing, you're gonna have like more problems. But
Okay.
yeah,
Um. Also, a question I have is,
Yeah.
what's more nerve wracking, going up to fight or doing? I know you've done stand up
stand up
comedy. Yeah,
comedy.
yeah,
Actually, similar levels. It's really interesting. You should ask that question, and please keep the questions coming because
yeah,
like it's almost the same feeling of anxiety and release
yeah,
because with fighting the threat is physical, but with comedy the threat is more emotional and social,
yeah.
or
Yeah,
just
that's why
having and
I'm
just
really impressed with that.
yeah.
Just anybody going up and doing that,
Mhm.
you know. Um, and you know, you hear about, yeah, my biggest fear of that would be bombing. But then you hear about like these professionals that have been
Mhm.
doing it forever. Still, they go to a new town and the audience could be they don't
Just
understand
light up a
them.
room.
Yeah, you can go to one town and kill, but then you go to another town and they don't understand. You bomb, and I guess that's just a part
Mhm.
of it.
Yeah, my friend Grady Dixon actually had had a bit about that.
Yeah.
He kind of tried to do he tried to get out of a ticket with one of his uh, he tried to get out of a ticket by telling a police officer like happy 9/11 on 9/11 because he was a little high, and he just killed it with that joke. Shout out to Grady there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see him again sometime.
Yeah.
But he's actually been someone I'm looking to connect with for a while, but he's just been kind of busy with other stuff. Like he's more of like a comedian's comedian.
Okay.
Like he's a lot like Louis C.K. and that like I think not a lot of people really understand his comedy on like the level he wants it to, but they understand it enough that they'll be entertained and
Yeah.
still want to come see him.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what is is he a full time stand up?
Oh yeah, he's a full time
Nice.
comedian.
Yeah, that name
He actually does it for a
sounds
living.
familiar. Yeah.
He's I think he might have like a job on the side or something, but like I
Okay.
think comedy is like his main source of income, which is really difficult to do.
Yeah, doesn't it? It takes like
Years.
like up to 10 years, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so you're just going years not getting paid from gigs, right?
Mhm.
About how what is it? Year 10 about?
Oh, for
Do you start getting paid? I know, like
it depends on how good you are.
yeah,
Because there are younger comics who can get paid very well. They can go on like Jimmy Kimmel or like some like late night TV show. But to be like a really successful underground comic, you kind of have to have like a niche market
yeah,
to actually like really be kind of like a Bill Hicks following. Do you know who that is?
yeah. A little. I know his name. Was he? Was he kind of? Did he have like philosophical comedy?
Yeah. He was really big in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He was around like Kinnison, right? That time period, or
Kinnison. No,
Or is that after? Because I'm
he actually died when he was around our age. He was around, I
okay.
think, 33 years old or something, and
Yeah.
it was cancer, probably from
Oh,
smoking
yeah.
and drinking a lot. But
Yeah.
it's just really interesting that he died to me so early in his life when I feel like he had so much more to offer. Really, it's kind
Yeah.
of sad.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have to look him up. Yeah. I've always liked Louis though. Is
Louis
like
C.K.
Grady? Is he kind of have like that morbid style?
Not, I wouldn't say morbid, more of
Yeah.
kind of like boyish and irreverent, kind of
Yeah.
adult, but like kind of teenagerish, sort of like snarky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that describes him pretty well. He he's just really just kind of into Star Wars and a lot of like sort of
Yeah.
teenager stuff, but like he presents it in an adult way that like makes it funny for
Yeah.
other people and interesting,
Right.
which is what I like.
Yeah. So it's kind of targeted for our age group.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, how is the scene in like Albany? How it's probably it's got to be a good mental health outlet for.
Oh yeah, yeah. There are a lot of people who use it as an outlet.
Yeah.
I've done it before with some success, but I feel like I fare better when I actually have a like routine written out. Like some comics can just like go up on stage without having
Just
prepared
winging
at
it.
all,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I never really. I can make people laugh, but I can't tell a coherent story when I do that. Because like I
Yeah.
just randomly jump from topic to topic. Because for example, I tried to do a bit about the aftermath of our fight,
Yeah.
and I'm struggling to I'm like lying about a couple details to like actually make the story make
Yeah.
sense. Because
Yeah.
my coach's son, I have him originally in the story, but I switched it out to one of our younger fighters from Saratoga, Muay Thai. Not gonna mention his name, but in the story, I have my parents FaceTime me after the fight after they think I was just like setting up tables and stuff
Yeah. Yeah.
when I was really actually competing.
Yeah.
And I have him. I give my phone to him, just like here, talk to my parents because like I don't want to show my face real quick.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, he comes up and says, "Oh yeah, and then I have him totally get me in trouble like unintentionally, like just
Yeah.
have him say, "Oh yeah, he's just cleaning the blood off his nose," and then like have my mom freak out
Honestly
like,
came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
How were your parents? I know you like you mentioned your parents were a little bit against your
My mother. Yeah.
your mom. But how did your father? What did your dad think about it?
He seemed impressed about it. He's yeah he no, he's not too he's like I feel like he's not as open about things, but I could tell like he was I could tell he was nervous, but I think he was proud about it. My mother, she was a nervous wreck. Like, yeah, I remember her saying before, she's like, Michael, you have such a skinny neck. Yeah. She's like, all boxers and fighters have thick necks. I'm like, not all of them. But yeah, she was relieved. They live in Florida, so my mother didn't want to see it. So she just was waiting to hear the aftermath.
Yeah, it's really kind of a little weird she'd say that. I mean, you actually have a pretty thick neck, I think, at least.
Oh, thank you. Well, I've been trying to I've been trying to do workouts to improve the strength of it. You ever seen like it's like a hat that you wear like this it's like a helmet thing and it has chains on it and you do the
I think I know what you're talking about. It's like supposed to strengthen your neck muscles.
It's funny because at the gym I'm like the only guy I've seen using something like that, so you stick out a little bit. But.
What do you train out of again? I know Nook So Muay Thai is where you train for
ABC Fitness.
ABC Fitness, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
In Latham, yep. Yeah, they're expanding. There's in the plaza. There's a separate building that they're gonna be putting more barbell equipment. Your gym's above Albany Strength, right?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. It's probably big powerlifting people in there, right? It's kind of it's like similar.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They have a lot of supplements for sale too. I don't really touch those, but
Yeah.
Like if you know what you're doing, you can really get a lot of benefit out of them. Like I don't want to knock the bodybuilding community at all, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm impressed. But I'm definitely fascinated by that
Do you
lifestyle.
take any vitamins, or are there any? Do you have like a nutritionist that coaches you, or you're just like self-educating for this
Yeah,
whole
kind of
thing?
self-educating. One thing I was doing to cut weight was carb cycling, where on like heavy training days you eat your carbs like rice, and I didn't try to eat too much bread. Like I would eat I do like the Dunkin' sandwiches on the multigrain bagels, but yeah, mostly on the high carb days you eat like rice with protein, not as much fat. Then like on the rest days, mostly just it's almost like a keto day where you're just eating a lot of protein and fats, and switch it up. And right now I'm kind of relaxed with it, but I still try to eat healthy, but it's not as like it's a little less
Regimented.
yeah, regimented. Yeah,
I'm the same way.
brain
Like
fog.
I really need to get back into kind of like a training regimen with like what I'm doing, because like I just stopped really caring about my weight like after the whole thing, and I finished. I remember like the day afterward, I literally finished like an entire tub of I think it was fish food by Jerry Garcia, like in one sitting.
Ben and
God,
Jerry's. Yeah. I had a big piece of carrot cake.
Oh.
It's one of my favorites. Cannolis, carrot cake, cheesecake, red velvet cake. I just like cakes, man. Yeah. Yeah, it was that cutting process. That was, it's hard having that disciplined diet like where you're not doing. I feel like you need the cheat meals. Like, I'd say maybe like every even week have one cheat meal. But
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I usually go to a ramen noodle place in the mall.
Yeah.
It's probably one of my favorite
Oh,
places.
and is it by Maggie McFly's?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been in there once. I got to try the ramen. I had something else there, but I've had ramen and on Central. It's like not too far from here actually. On downtown Central. Yeah, I'm trying to. It was some ramen place, but and they actually have a Vietnamese. Have you ever had? It's called pho or pho. It's
Pho,
TH
yeah. They actually, I think they have a place that does that in downtown Troy. I forget the name of it, but it's near Herbie's Burgers.
I've heard of Herbie's.
Oh, Herbie's is amazing. It's like Five Guys and White Castle rolled into one. I think it's better than both, personally. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I also wanted to ask you about the voice acting.
So I've kind of put that on hold for the time being, because it's really difficult to find reputable clients. And there is a story about I got scammed by this one guy from Pakistan. He literally, I don't know if I want to admit this on air, but like I can be a very gullible person.
Same. I've a similar thing that just happened with Instagram. I tried this promotion account messaged me about one of the posts for this competition, and so I paid him like $40, and then I got like almost 1,000 followers the next day, all from people from like India, Pakistan, and it ended up being like a Pakistani fake promotion company,
like bot company.
Yeah, they got me too.
I mean, did they really get you though? Did they really screw you over if they got you followers?
Well, I think they're all fake accounts.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So I looked at all of them and I seen their pictures had no likes. They didn't have followers. I'm like, damn.
Send me that info. I want to see, because whoever this guy, like whoever it is running the operation, they're obviously like have some level of intelligence. They just don't have like much integrity.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of like Hamza Hyatt. Or actually, I shouldn't mention his name on air. I just did. We'll have to edit that part out later. But his email address and phone number is I'm not going to. But I kind of had a similar thing happen to me, because he was smart in the way that he presented himself, in that he claimed to work for this company called Alux. And they're a legitimate company. They mostly just educate people about making passive income, that sort of thing, Bitcoin. And he claimed it wasn't until I actually reached out to their email account because I tried calling them several times and never really got an answer. I just got sent a voicemail, and I connected with somebody once, but they didn't really give me much information on him.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I actually emailed their direct account that they confirmed that, oh, this guy has been lying to you for months. And like, but
Damn.
I actually did get about $500,000 from him in total, like for all the work I did.
Okay.
And I just never even saw where my content, where all my work went.
Oh, so you lost a bunch of.
Yeah, I lost a lot of it. I don't know where he is now or what he's doing, but he taught me a pretty valuable lesson about vetting clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was this? I remember you mentioning Fiverr too.
I did. Oh God, yeah. There was another scammer who tried to. I think he like kicked down my rating a couple. I'm not sure what happened, but after he left a complaint on my account, like my rating went down like a couple notches or whatever.
Yeah.
And I tried to get the people to like take it off, but like they haven't really responded to me yet. So I've kind of just put that on the back burner.
Yeah.
He tried. There was this one. His name was like something stupid, like Bubba Tunda Stamp or something.
Yeah.
I wish I had like his personal info so I could like broadcast it to the world. But like
yeah, watch out for those.
yeah, I don't know if like I don't know if I'm breaking any laws by doing that, but
I'm not sure.
he like literally tried to get me to get him like a VPN card to like travel outside of the country. And yeah, like I don't know why he singled me out for this. I guess he must be like, I don't know, like have access to like information or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. But like he managed to like damage my rating on there to the point like where I just didn't really find it worth it to engage with the platform anymore.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'll have to look into it because I've thought about trying to use Fiverr for like logo design. Because yeah, I'm into art and everything. I don't know if I mentioned tattooing as my job.
Oh yeah, you. There's actually a funny story there. How's your boss doing with? Because I remember you actually kind of you accidentally claimed to like own the tattoo parlor.
During the live stream, the pay-per-view, the announcers were saying that I was the owner of Fast Lane Tattoo, but that's not true.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yes. I still gotta tell my boss about that. He'll probably laugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard. It was hard, training and still doing. Like, when you're a tattoo artist, it's like it takes so much of your time, because when you're not at the shop, you're at home drawing too, and a lot of it's like social media marketing. And
did you ever take a course on that, or are you entirely self-taught with how to do that?
I went through an apprenticeship. Actually, at a shop right down the road here, Make Your Mark Tattoo. So yeah, I was an apprentice for about a year, but I had some like personal issues go on where I ended up having to leave the shop. I took a hiatus for a bit, drove trucks again, and got back
doing what you really love to do.
Yeah. And I think it's fine sometimes with creative work like that. Sometimes I think a hiatus is needed.
Would you ever consider being like an artist for like a comic book company or something? Because I think you mentioned, I'm not sure, I might be confusing you with somebody else, but you did mention that you read the Boys comic at one point, or the show. Yeah. Was it the show or the comic?
I seen the show. Then I think we talked about it, and I looked, and then because after watching the show, I've looked into like just the artwork to see how like the characters looked in the graphic novel, and I really do enjoy like the aesthetic of like the graphic novels, just even like The Walking Dead. I like the way that's all the artwork's done. Isn't that? It's kind of. Have you ever read the graphic novel of that one?
No, I've kind of glimpsed at it, but never like seriously read it.
Yeah, I like the shading style from like some of those graphic novels. It's kind of like that engraved style where they use like lines for the contrast. But yeah, Actually, my brother, he's more of my older brother. He really enjoys like comics and graphic novels. He's also an artist. He'd be a
awesome.
good artist. Yeah. He actually he's really good at writing, so I try to push him to get back
Get
into that. Yeah,
develop that.
yeah.
Has he written anything? Has he produced anything?
He started a lot of works, but then he get the writer's block. He's struggled with alcoholism for a while now, but now he's sober. He's a father.
That's awesome.
But a lot of his time he's working and okay, yeah, and supporting his daughter. So it's pretty cool being an uncle now.
Are you? Do you have kids at all?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm confusing with something else then.
That's all right.
Okay. Yeah.
What about you? Do you?
No. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else am I gonna?
Well, another thing I think which would with so my previous relationship, my ex and I, we actually went through a miscarriage, and I think the pain of that kind of helped push me to do this
Yeah.
combat sports competition. Yeah.
Do you think you'll sign up for another one, or do you?
Yeah, I got to get back into the training. I've been like Muay Thai training. I've been still going to the gym and like conditioning and stuff, but I haven't sparred in forever.
Yeah.
Have you been sparring?
A little bit
Nice.
here and there. Nothing too serious.
Yeah, how you feeling about it?
I feel decent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I felt a little woozy after I fight, but like 5 minutes later, I was completely fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that.
And people just kept looking at me weird, and I was like, "Wait, why is my nose screwed up? Oh man!" And then like I looked in the mirror, and it's like, "Oh, that's why it is white."
So, yeah, we both had a little bit of blood
Yeah,
on our noses. It's a thing, yeah, that we get the headgear, but our noses still.
yeah, it's weird. Like the most vulnerable parts of your face are like wide open and exposed, but like
Right.
it feels like the stuff that's like matters the least is like kind of lightly padded.
Yeah, the skull is so thick,
Those were actually good headgears. Like the ones that I usually used to wear at like Tiger Schulman's, they like had these stupid like cross guard things that like obscured your vision.
Yeah.
And like they actually made you get hit more. So
Oh, damn.
I'm just really appreciative of the fact that like the headgear actually works so well.
Yeah, for sure. And also, what do we have? 14 ounce? Was it 14? The gloves?
Yeah. Yeah, that was what it is.
Just imagine like the 8 ounces. God.
Yeah.
Like just little MMA gloves. That's got to be intense.
Actually, the Joe Rogan actually commented on it's better to have smaller gloves because you knock your opponent out faster, and with bigger gloves you tend to take more damage because like the cushion.
Is that why you see like I think there's statistically more deaths in boxing than UFC? Okay.
And more brain damage.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of that story with a guy he put like cement into the glove? It was like an old boxing fight. He like killed a guy because.
Ooh.
Like how did you get away with that?
Yeah, that's legally sanctioned match.
Yeah.
That's why so many people are so against the sport. It's just, I mean, my family's not particularly thrilled because it's a very dangerous thing. It kind of is like legal human cockfighting.
Yeah. I felt like I kind of felt like we were a bunch of whores in the back.
Yeah.
Like, listen up, fighters. Like, everybody gather up. Did you have that kind of...
God, that's good. I can use that.
Yeah, write that down.
Yeah.
But yeah, how is where do you do jujitsu at?
I do. I actually haven't been doing that much jujitsu lately, but when I do, I usually just go to Albany Strength.
Okay, they do. What is Nukes? I mean, Sukti does. They have a
Sukti, yeah. They're not just a Muay Thai school. Jeremy is he's proficient in a number of arts.
Oh, he's a dangerous man.
He's way more dangerous than you or I could ever hope to be. Well, that's a stretch, but he's pretty advanced.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I mean, he looks like a regular person, but really he's like probably at black belt level in terms of grappling.
That's why I recommend nobody should ever street fight, dude. It's the worst idea.
Yeah, not a good idea.
Yeah. Hey, how was so how many competitions did you do?
That was my first one with striking. I used to wrestle when I was in high school.
You're a wrestler.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to learn that, man.
Yeah, you grapple though, right?
I did like a month's worth at Bruno's of jiu-jitsu. Yeah, it's hard. I got manhandled all the time.
That's the thing for me is like I did decently in my tournament, but at first, but then I just started losing to like younger fighters, who are like more just nimble and agile, and
Yeah.
that like really screwed up my back like over a year and a half ago.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But now like things are mostly better.
Did you ever get like I would get like the mat burn on the top of my feet sometimes. I don't know. I think just from like the way I was positioning on the mats. You ever get like the mat
Oh,
burn?
absolutely. Yeah, I
Shit sucks.
tore my flesh off at one point, like just with my right toe.
I
Like
have,
I tried to do like a single leg takedown, and like
yeah.
I felt like the searing pain on my right toe, and like I looked down and there's no blood, but like a real like huge chunk of flesh was like peeled off, and I was like, ugh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes even just Muay Thai like training, sparring. Like you ever like my big toes tend to always like the calluses will tear sometimes, and there'll be blood. And you ever have that happen? I don't know if it's just I don't know if it's just me or what that's all about.
Oh, I've had that before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of ripped off my toenail at one
Oh,
point.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I know I've asked you this before, but how close are they to deciding the victor for your competition?
Okay, so yeah, tomorrow they're gonna eliminate down to 20. Um, I think it's like another like a week or so. So yeah, I'd like to say like a week or 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't get too informed about that, but
Yeah, I wanted to get you on my other friend's show. His name's Jesse Alexander.
yeah,
Jesse, if you're listening right now, like, pay attention to this guy. All right, I'm still a little bit new in this whole social media game, so I gotta do more research and like how to promote stuff. But I feel pretty good about your chances if like we can get more people to just.
Thank you.
You don't even need to. If you're listening right now, you don't need to pay any money. You can go to the link that I'm going to link to after the show, and you can make a free 1-day donation. It doesn't cost you any money, but you can if you want to.
appreciate it. Yeah, and 8,000. If I win, $8,000 of the earnings will go to the National MS Society. So I appreciate any votes any of you take the time to complete.
Well, there you have it, folks. Pretty much everything we wanted to cover there. Mike, do you have any questions for me, man? Let them roll.
How long did you do wrestling for?
I did that from the time I was 14 to 18, so about 4 years.
And do you ever watch the Dagestani wrestlers?
I sometimes, yeah. There's actually this one wrestler from our. He actually switched schools recently, but his name's Hasib Khattab. I follow him on Instagram. He's an extremely effective fighter.
Yeah.
See if you're watching right now, I'd love to have you on the show at some point. He's not Dagestani. He's from Afghanistan.
Okay.
And he probably was one of the best people I've ever rolled with. I mean, he's extremely quick. He's impossible to pin down, and he just gives it his all, like every single fight. Like he does not know how to stop.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of his strengths.
And did you
He's a pretty intense dude.
in jiu-jitsu, are you white belt, blue belt?
I'm about a white belt right now. So
I heard it's hard. Like it's a process to get to the blue belt, right?
absolutely.
Then even after, I heard a lot of people will quit after they get the blue belt.
Yeah.
It's even more of a hassle after. And then I'm like confused with the grading system too, because I've seen some people will take like years and years to get their black belt, another one, and they'll be better than the other guy who will get their black belt in like just maybe 2 years. I don't know how. Is it just depends on the what do you call you call him a professor or? Okay, yeah. It depend on the
it depends on the level of skill. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't really. I'm only a white belt. I'm not that knowledgeable about the sport, but that is, you are correct about that.
Yeah. But even being a white, but even how do you do it? Are you doing more of Muay Thai training than?
Yeah, mostly just striking training because I kind of want to protect my back, but that really just kind of feels like an excuse. I think I want to do at least one tournament.
Yeah. Are you looking to do another Muay Thai fight anytime soon?
the next time Donnybrook has anything going on in Saratoga, Donald Walton, hint, hint.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that there's a possibility of it in June or July. So
Yeah,
did you
yeah.
hear anything about
I
that?
did. I did. There's something in the pipeline. I've been trolling social media on that. Um, there's also one for there's also one coming up on May 25th that I think I'm probably too late to get in on because like the registration process and all that. But I
I
like
guess
something
soon.
on I think Rex Thompson's page,
Yeah.
and
Name sounds familiar.
yeah, I'm probably gonna message him tonight about that.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably in Vermont based on
Yeah.
because there's
There's
nothing. I mean, I haven't seen anything for Saratoga Springs, so obviously that's the only other place Donnybrook is.
Yeah, yeah, it's a Vermont-based company, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and plus my birthday's on the 25th, so I don't really feel like
Oh,
traveling.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, or the 24th rather.
Um, and yeah, you told me a little bit about MMA too. Would you,
Um, well, what did I tell you?
you had like an interest in it, possibly. I think you just said you have an interest, but I'm not sure
So
if you want
in
to.
order to compete in MMA, I've been told you need to be at blue belt level or higher. And
Oh,
currently my grappling skills aren't really up to that level yet. So,
yeah,
potentially something in the future I might be interested
yeah,
in doing, but I don't think I can legally do that now.
yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good goal, do a couple Muay Thai kickboxing competitions, then just, work towards getting that blue belt and going from there, see how you feel about it.
Hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, at some point, yeah, that's because I want to do a couple more Muay Thai competitions, and I would like to learn the wrestling, jujitsu too. Have you ever gotten into boxing? You ever just taken traditional boxing courses?
Yeah, they actually offer they do that at Sukti. Jeremy
Okay,
teaches that.
yeah,
I think it's one of his core styles.
okay, yeah, yeah. I always like the head movement and the footwork with
Hmm.
boxing. I know it's different from Muay Thai. It's weird, like transitioning from the Muay Thai stance to like the boxing.
Hmm.
Have you've done a couple of those?
Um, I've trained in boxing and Muay Thai, but really just with the way my head moves, there's really not much difference between the two. At
Yeah,
least for me, because I'm not as skilled as I most actually I'm my skill level is kind of like not really super high,
yeah.
but with somebody like Jeremy Hunt, you'd be able to see the differences in the styles with Muay Thai and boxing.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and one thing he's constantly always like giving me correction on is to like, and one thing that I realize now from like looking over the details of our fight is like I have a huge problem with dropping my hands.
Oh, I mean, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were just tired too. It was, but yeah, it's good to go over that and just learn from it for
Hmm.
sure. Um. But yeah. Keeping that. Yeah. Just your shoulders get so tired, and I stopped focusing on my breathing during that.
Hmm.
I'm sure you probably. Did that happen to you too?
Yeah,
Or
both of
yeah.
us did. Yeah, we gassed out pretty
It's
early.
adrenaline, dude. Yeah. Um. I just haven't had an idea. Have you ever thought of getting like any of the more like Lurdzilla, or because he's done seminars around here? That'd be cool to get him on.
Yeah, that
Get
could.
him on the pod.
Uh huh.
His English is it's decent. I think he'd be able to
Okay.
communicate. So that's an idea.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, do you have any do you have any Muay Thai fighters that you look up to? Like you try to
Oh,
copy their styles?
I would say Israel Adesanya.
Oh, yeah,
My coach Jeremy Hunt. I try to imitate
yeah,
his style as best I
yeah,
can.
yeah.
Uh, you don't usually succeed, but also Donald Walton, Jim Bruchak, Sean Murphy. I try to copy a lot, but I can't really mimic it. I can't mimic it as his style as best as he can, obviously, because he's a lot taller. I
Okay,
think he's a little bit. He's actually taller than you are. He's
okay.
taller than both of us. He's
I'll have
around
to,
six
yeah,
three or six four.
you'll have to send me these names so I can look into them too.
Yeah.
Um,
What about you? Do you have any fighters who you look up to at your school?
um, at my school, I mean, yeah, there's a couple of young guys that are really good. I like working with.
Hmm.
There's a kid named Carter. One kid he fought. His name's Declan. He fought too on the same night. Um, but when it comes to like the Muay Thai fighters, I like watching like Rod Tang. Pornsanai Sitmonchai,
Mhm.
Buakaw, uh, yeah, Lordzilla too. Have you ever looked into like Gabriel Varga too? He's not Thai, but he's a kickboxer and Muay Thai fighter. I think he's done karate too. He has a lot
No,
of
I don't think I have.
yeah, he has a lot of good instructional videos on YouTube.
Mhm.
So I try to watch those. For boxing, I like watching. You ever seen Tony Jeffries?
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
was
think I
like
have.
a UK Olympic boxer.
Yeah, I'm trying to find more footage of this one boxer named Ed Lattimore, because he, like, I've just been in contact with him lately about a few things, but
Yeah,
um he's actually somebody whose style I try to mimic a little bit, because he's very similar. It's similar to Ed Burris. They're both named Ed, and they're both, accomplished fighters. So they're both kind of people I looked up to in that realm.
yeah,
But Ed Lattimore's he's retired now, so he hasn't actually fought in a couple of years. I think he still probably trains.
yeah.
But with Ed Burris, I've been trying to get in contact with him for a while now, because he was actually a kickboxing champion at one point in his youth, I mean,
Oh,
in
nice.
his 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
And I started to learn like some knife fighting techniques from him, but
Oh, nice.
I never it never really absorbed the way I wanted it to,
Yeah.
because I never really had enough time with him.
Yeah.
So
That's an interesting tactic, though. Yeah. What I like about martial arts and tattooing, like the similarity is like that it's good to go and travel and meet other
mhm,
artists. I look at like fighters as artists too, like in the martial art, and it's good to learn from all different styles, and I think that's the best way to grow in both aspects.
of life.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah, man, I appreciate you having me on
Yeah,
too. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much our time, folks. I'm pretty sure we can post some links in the after in gonna have to edit that part out because I just stuttered, but but we'll post some links that you can view for your pleasure. We'll post some links later on so guys can donate.
Yeah, thank you all.